Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Komal Singh. So today I am going to talk about my Air India's interview experience, and I gave my interview on 27th of January in Essex Farms. So my interview experience was very wonderful because I had decided on that day that I would speak a lot because of my nervousness, because of we all do the same issues, like we get nervous and we end up saying only 2 and 3 things. So I didn't want to repeat that again. So I went there around 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I stood in the queue to get my number, and they finally gave my number. My number was 58, and then they told me to sit for some time, and I waited for around 2 hours to get my chance, because at the time they were preferring experienced crew members. They were taking the interviews of experienced crew members. I really don't know why why they always prefer experienced crew, but that is sure that they will take you for another for the training, because nowadays they are going to buy so many aircrafts. So obviously if they are buying aircraft, they need some crew. So yeah, so I had to wait for 2 hours, and then my turn came. We were 10 people there, and we were sitting in a round, and one HR was also there. She gave me our topic, and like at that time only three groups were sitting there, and then she asked me to all of us to talk about women empowerment, and we all started. So I observed many girls were saying women's or women's. So both are totally wrong. If you guys don't know, WEMEN means women. We pronounce it as women, and there is no word called women's. We don't say women's. So everyone was mixing some grammar and past tenses issues, but I calmed down myself, and I started speaking. So I made, I think, 2 or 3 sentences there, and then one girl interrupted me by adding some points. So all they see how much confidence you are while speaking, and on that day I was pretty much confident to talk about anything actually. And I know, actually we all know women empowerment was very easy topic, so they choose very difficult. They don't prefer telling you difficult topics, because they just want to hear something from your mouth. It is not rocket science that we all don't know. So yeah, I started I started speaking, and I made the points, and I think we were 10, so I think 2 or 3 girls were not speaking so much, and I think they added only 1 or 2 points there. And then they gave us 10 minutes, because we were sitting 10 people. And yes, so I told them women empowerment is important nowadays, because earlier women were not getting equal chances. They were not treated equally like men. So that's why they were, most of the time they were busy in their household chores. So but nowadays they have that right to pursue their career, or can achieve their goals. So I made this point, and I also added 1 point at the last, that last year 30% of women entered in entrepreneur sector, and they have succeeded also. They are doing very good, and in Olympics also women are doing better than men. So that was my last point. And then one HR came. She stopped us, and she took some of our names. I think she took 6 names, and 4 of were rejected, and she told 6 of us to wait for some time. So we were sent to another room for waiting, and I think at that time we waited for 1 hour, and then there was my friend. She was like, why they made us wait for so long? And then we gone out, and we saw that they were checking our BMI, and they were sending us to medical team to check our scars. So yeah, my number was 58. So before lunch they took my BMI, and I was really glad that before lunch they are taking, because so that I can eat, because my BMI is exactly 22, and sometimes it comes 22 point something. So on that day my BMI was 22.7, and I was worried whether they would take it or not. So yeah, they finally took, and the person who was taking our BMI, he told me that their criteria is 23. So I become okay finally, and that scar and all points they took after my lunch, because all of them went for their lunch. So they took I think 1 hour for the lunch, and after that they checked my scars. In that was second round. So in second round, outside the two men were standing. They took my weight and BMI, and they sent me to medical room, and there she was just checking our hands, like from here to here and here. They don't check our legs because they have sari, so they are not concerned about any marks in our leg. So she just checked this, and she checked my scars, whether I do have scars or not. And I always get worried because of my dark circles, if you guys can see, but they are not worried about it, because obviously we can hide it with makeup, but I am not pro at makeup, so that's why I was worried. But she didn't tell me anything. So luckily, yeah, my second round, I cleared my second round, and then again I had to wait for some time. Again I had to wait for 1 or half an hour, and they were taking the third round. So if I get clear my second round, she has given me one tag, that blue color tag, and it was written PI. So third round was PI. So I cleared my second round, and I went for my third round, and again I had to wait there, because they were taking experienced crew, and they were taking and rejecting on the spot. Means on the if you are selected, they will say they will give you green badge, and if you can't if you wouldn't completed your third round, they will just say you thank you for your precious time, we will inform you within 2 months, 2 week. So obviously you are rejected. They don't say that we are rejecting you for something. They will only tell you that we will contact you through your email. So yeah, when my turn came, I was like, I took a deep breath and inhale from my mouth. It is I would tell you, this is the best idea to get out from your nervousness. So I did that, and I was like I would say anything whatever comes in my mind, and I did the same, because when you prepare anything and when you mug up anything, all the things will mixed up. So I just took a deep breath, and I just went there. So at this time there were two HR were sitting, and I was like, one was the air hostess and another was I think she was HR. So they both were sitting there, and I was like, they both would see my gesture, the way of talk, but I made it. And like, she asked me one question, introduce yourself. So I introduced myself. I added that I have also worked as a sales executive. So, and I also added my hobbies, like my hobby is reading novels. So I was expecting them to ask about my novel, but they didn't ask me. So the air hostess, she asked me, Komal, what was your experience there, or whether you quit the job or not. So I said that, ma'am, actually I started working there because after pandemic there were no vacancies of airlines. So I decided, rather than ideally sitting at home, I would pursue something, or I would do something or gain experience. And when I came to know that all airlines are conducting interviews, I quit my job because I had to focus on my career. So all these points I told them, and then they were like, okay. And and then she asked, what you do to improve your communication skills. So I added that I am listening some podcast and also watching some Hollywood movies. But she didn't ask anything about Hollywood movies. She asked what type of podcast. So I said that there is a Ranveer show, and he take the interviews of celebrities, and from there I learned something like how confidence he is with how confidently he speaks. I really love that. So I added this one also, and I added that nowadays I am listening British podcast also, because nowadays we speak only British podcast. And these all the points. And then the air hostess, she told that HR, ma'am, you can proceed. And she stood up and she went somewhere. I really don't remember. Then she asked, Komal, which type of classes you are taking and all. So I just said, I am just taking my online classes where they teach us how to communicate. And she was like, okay, so you are from Delhi. I said yes ma'am, I'm from Delhi, and she asked me about whether I do have a passport, Aadhaar card and PAN card. So she wrote something there, and when that air hostess came, she asked that HR, she told to air hostess PHT. So I was like, again I am in PHT, but I was happy. If even they would have rejected me, I was satisfied with my performance, because on that day I literally spoke well, and I know I made some grammatical errors, and that is why they put me in the PhD. But if they wouldn't have give me that PhD classes, I was satisfied totally. You just be satisfied with yourself, even you tried to speak. That is important, because in your interviews you get nervous and then you go again. So it is not all about how many interviews you gave. It is all about every day, each and every day, what you enhance in your communication skill or what you learn. So I was happy. And then she asked me to remove my both badges, and I was like, why she is asking me to remove? Because if we get selected in the third round, they give us that green badge for the fourth round. And then suddenly she told me that, Komal, do you know about PhD? So I told her that yes ma'am, I only know about PhD, that they teach us about communication skills, like grammar part and all. And she was like, okay, fair enough, and just wait for some time, we will revert back to you, or we will tell everything. And then I also asked, ma'am, it is of 2 months or what the procedure is? And she told that just wait for some minute, we will inform you. And then I came back and I sat for some time, and then I think after 10 to 15 minutes she called me, and there was their senior HR who was taking fourth round. So she was sitting in the middle, and side by side all third round were going on. So she came out and she just took all the resumes in her hand, and she was just seeing us and just writing something, and seeing us and writing something. I was like, what she is writing? And we were standing in a queue. We were 8 girls, so we were standing in a queue, and just I really don't know what she wrote there. And then she handed over to that air hostess, and she told that you can have it. And then she was just taking out the resumes, and she called out some 4 names, and to that 4 members she told that you all have to come for another interview. So when she came, she just rejected 4 of them, and she told them to come again. And I really don't know why she did that. And to us, she told that you all have to wait for 1 week, and we will revert back you through your email. So we were like, okay, we all were selected for the PhD, and then she told that you can leave for the day. So yeah, that all was my experience. I really don't know what they asked in 4th round, because if you are selected for the PhD, they will not take your 4th round. They will just tell you to wait for some time. So I would request you all to please go and give interviews, because in interviews you get to learn so many things, like where you are making mistakes and how to work on it. And this is the best chance for Air India, because nowadays they are selecting so many candidates. So for all the aviator and all of them who want to become a cabin crew, this is the best opportunity which you got, because Air India is the company who conducts a very less interviews. And I would say since 1 year they didn't conduct any interview in Delhi, but nowadays they have I guess they have conducted 3 to 4 interviews in Essex Farms only. So yeah, that all was about my Air India's interview, and let's see. So still I am waiting for their email. Maybe at the end of this week I will get my email. So as Indigo conducts their PhD classes on Zoom, like online, but they are saying that if I am from Delhi, so they will give me offline classes, and that would be conducted in Gurgaon. So yeah, let's see what will happen. I really don't, no one is in touch with me who all were selected for the PhD. Actually, I didn't get time to take their numbers. So yeah, let's see. All I can do is wait for their email. And if you need any other questions regarding interviews, so do let me know. Yeah, so that all was for today. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Tata, bye bye.